Hey guys, what's up? The name's Nick. You've seen a couple of my musical videos that I've uploaded in the past, but besides those, I haven't really done much. But I've been looking to make myself into more of an online personality in some sort of way or another. I don't even know, probably not even like get that many views or whatever, but I just wanted to start actually making something out of this channel. So it's currently 4 something in the morning and I should be asleep, but Insomniacs. Actually, that's kind of topical for the video. Insomnia! Well, today I'll be talking about a game made by the company Insomniac Games, that being the first game in my favorite series of all time, Ratchet and Clank. This awesome little game came out in 2002 and has been the staple game of my entire childhood, along with, Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper. Growing up, that's like all I would ever play. But so, yeah, what I'm really going to be doing here is just like occasional, just unscripted reviews, no fancy schmancy stuff, no producing or graphics or cutaways or like gags or anything like that. It's just, me sitting here talking about video games because that's what I like to do. I would love to actually make this into a full-on gaming channel with edited stuff and all that and the capture card, but I need to get a hold of that stuff first, and who knows when that'll happen. Maybe I'll do that, maybe I won't. But for now, you've just got me, unshaven, out of sleep, and yeah, so, back to the subject at hand. Ratchet & Clank came out in 2002, developed by Insomniac Games. There's a cat at my door. Yeah, and it was released after the work that they did in the Spiral trilogy. Hello, Jack. Come on. Come on, you. Come on. Come. That's my boy. Okay, so cameo appearance from the cat, apparently. Anyway, as I was saying, so they moved on to Ratchet and Clank following their work on the Spiral trilogy on PS1, and anybody with any sort of like past education in gaming would know that. But that actually wasn't the first project they moved on to after Spiral. Before they did Ratchet and Clank, they had a different project that they were working on that they just called Girl with a Stick, which is just like a kind of Tomb Raider mixed with Legend of Zelda feel, and in the end they felt like, well, the direction they were going with it wasn't that fun, so they scrapped everything and went along with Ratchet and Clank. It's a platformer, and so there's a lot of, jumping from platforms and all that stuff, that what you would expect from platformers, of course. That's self-explanatory. People who are watching this, they're gonna see that as gaming tag, they'll know that are talking about video games. Of course they're going to know what a platformer is. But, yeah, and it mixes platforming with gunplay. You've got a lot of cool weapons and gadgets that you can make use of. They really put emphasis on how over-exaggerated and overblown the weaponry is. In this particular title, it's actually quite tame compared to what it would be in future titles. Let's just, don't even get me started on going commando. But yeah, you acquire these weapons by use of racking up bolts, which are the currency in the game that you can get from defeating enemies and stuff, and smashing everything that you see, and just stealing away all the bolts that you can, like a little klepto, just to give all the money to this mega corporation called Gadgetron that's selling you the weapons. The game itself, in terms of its story, I hear a lot of people talking about it, and there was a video that I watched by this YouTuber I watch. His name, he goes by The Gaming Red, and he's awesome. You should go watch his videos. But he talks about how, like, the game story is kind of a riff on, like, consumerism and stuff like that. Like, in the game, you've got this mega corporation that, like, has seeped into every fiber of the society of the galaxy, and you've got like these adverts for every next level in the game, right? That you go around and collect, and it's like, these little TV spots that are like trying to sell you something, right? And everything's like super just like overproduced and like cheery and, happy fun time. And then when you get to the place that it's actually an advertisement for, it's totally not like that at all. Like, all the character interactions is just like super raw, just super grounded. Like, it's oh man, how do I? It's like a riff on how, how unrealistic some, like, I guess, advertising material is, I suppose, compared to, what the real world is like. And that's kind of what's going on with there, I guess. But yeah, every villain in the series is well, at least for the PS2 trilogy, is some sort of like big mega CEO or something like that, or in some sort of way or another. Like in this one, you've got Chairman Drek, which is the lead member of this alien race called the Blarg, which are like, their motive is to tear away pieces from other planets so they can build their own planets because they have polluted their own planet beyond habitability. English. But eventually we learn that Chairman Drek's motives are not as squeaky clean as just wanting to build a new home for his race. In fact, in the end, it's all about the money, because every square inch of his new planet he gets paid for. So he's trying to rip away all these pieces of planets and build his own planet and make money, and he intends on just polluting the new planet so he can do it all over again and make even more money. It's really despicable when you think about it. As Clank says in the game, "Why you evil little." Where was I? Let's see, what's next? Oh yeah, in fact, a little bit more. There's kind of like a satire of celebrity sellout in the game as well. Like, we've got this character named Captain Quark, who is the galaxy's greatest superhero, but in reality, he's actually a washed-up celebrity who will do anything to get a few more moments of fame. Like, Chairman Drek, the villain, actually pays him to be the sponsor for his new planet. So, this guy he's completely spineless. He's a coward. He'll sell out for any amount of money just to get famous, and of course Ratchet and Clank end up exposing him, and the media absolutely just wrecks him because of it, and it's really quite sad and pathetic, and the storyline kind of continues on to the second game, so that's fun, and it definitely draws a parallel to like the way things are today. So as for the gameplay, you jump, you shoot, you run around, and you've got a melee weapon, which is a wrench, which is what Ratchet is named after. He himself he's a Lombax, which is like an alien species that's a cross between, well, I don't know what cross between is, but it's basically like what you would get if you cross a cat, a dog, and a human together, and then you get him. And then there's his little robot companion, sidekick Clank, who was like the smart one. Ratchet's the brawn, he's the brains of the outfit, and Clank is a defective robot that escapes from this robot factory on the planet Quartu, and originally he was being manufactured to be one of Chairman Drek's war machines, but he is defective, and he rebels against his original programming, and when he discovers what Drek is up to, he's like, can't have that, and he goes and hijacks a ship and hightails it out of there with a few other goons on his tail, and eventually he crash lands on planet Veldin, which is where Ratchet is, and the two meet each other, and then off on the adventure. Yeah. But yeah, so you make use of these weapons and gadgets, weapons to blow shit up, and the gadgets to progress. You've got the Trespasser, which you can use to, like, unlock doors and stuff, and you've got the Swing Shot that you can use to grapple from places, and that's really fun to use, as well as Clank. He's about the size of a toaster, and you wear him like a backpack, and he has, like, different, like, jetpack. Well, he's got a jetpack, he's got a helicopter pack, and he's got a hydro pack, things to help you move faster in water or maneuver in the air and stuff like that. So you get to make use of that as well, and, like, platforming and such. So that's another neat thing that's integrated into playing the game. God, this is awful. I'll probably get better at this as time goes on. Yeah. As for, for the most part, it's, just generally mostly fun. I mean, the level design is nice, and for a PS2 game, the landscapes look beautiful. You land on a planet, and you'll just get the camera pan out and have this, massive view of the entire environment that's just like super artistically designed. And like back in the day, people saw that and were like, wow, the PS2 can do that. This is so cutting edge. And of course today it's like nothing, because you know, you've got like games like Uncharted and stuff like that. But back in the day, that was unprecedented. And honestly, I think the only thing that looked better in it than it was like Jack and Daxter. But yeah, the game looks absolutely amazing, and the gameplay, just like, you know, getting to go through these levels, and it's like there's like a little over 20 levels in the game, and each one of them is like varied in different ways. It's like these different exotic locations and alien worlds and like civilizations and space stations and cities and stuff that you can go to, and you can just explore these worlds and like meet the inhabitants and just blow everything up as you go. And it's definitely a cathartic experience, and the people that you get to meet really like sow the seams of just like this larger universe that's like inhabited, you know, and everything just like feels so alive. yeah and the music, the soundtrack, it's groovy. It's got like a lot of this like breakbeat sampling and stuff like that, mixed with kind of the symphonic orchestra kind of feel, but it's like got this techno sci-fi vibe to it. And it's like, it's a game that like its soundtrack really stands out when you play, and like it's memorable. Like you can remember a lot of the tracks from it. Like there's the one from Metropolis, which is iconic, and off the top of my head, Clank's themes are really nice. Like the one the ones that you get to play as him, you know, those are nice. But they're just a lot of the soundtrack. David Berghed is amazing, and you know, I actually got to talk to him once, and it was cool. I talked to him on Facebook, and that was cool. Yeah. But wow, my throat is scratchy. I'm so sorry, but I'm not doing multiple takes. It's just, you know, doing it raw, kind of like this, right? So there's a weapon wheel that you can bring up, and like you can use it to quickly select whichever weapon or gadget that you want to switch to. But that's where we get into kind of the flaws of the game. Like for one, the game doesn't pause when you try and select a weapon. So while you're in the weapon wheel trying to decide what you want to use, you're basically sitting duck, and you can expect to get your ass handed to you by any number of the goons that are in the area that are just going to take pot shots at you while you're just trying to pull out the next thing that you want to use to retaliate against them. And for most of the game, you've only got 4 hit points, like no ifs, ands, or buts. So you definitely gotta make use of them. Another problem with it is the fact that there's no strafing, which is something that is rectified in the future games in the series, but in this one there's not any. So for people who are unexperienced, who also will have to deal with the fact that the gameplay also can be a little bit sluggish, just because it kind of suffers from first game in a series syndrome or whatever. And as it stands, it is already like so early in the PS2's lifespan, and the last thing that they worked on was on the PS1, so definitely they had to come to grips with new hardware, so that's understandable. But yeah, so the gameplay can be a little bit sluggish, and and the weapon wheel is kind of annoying to use. There are some gameplay variations too, like there are times at which you can play as Clank, like twice in the game. There are times when you're playing as Ratchet without Clank, so you need to like do the platforming and stuff without his assistance, which makes things a little bit more complicated and difficult. There's hoverboard races, which are, well, I mean, they won't be everybody's cup of tea. I mean, if you have fun with it, cool, but if not, they're harmless. Like back in the day, I could never beat them, but now they're a cinch. Most people would probably be able to get by them easily enough, and it only happens twice in the game, so you also get to dogfight a little bit, so that's cool too. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that I've mentioned everything. I mean, after this, I'm gonna be going on to talk about the sequel, I suppose. But yeah, so this has just been me unscripted, just rambling on about a video game. So I guess, start doing this regularly. Sorry for my. I don't know what's going on with this. But yeah, first time doing this, so I'll make a habit out of this. Sure, next time I'll talk about going commando, but for now, that's my talking on Ratchet and Clank. Oh yeah, T14, back when it was actually like, not kiddie stuff. But yeah, so check the game out if you'd be interested, and you can subscribe to me if you want, if you like this kind of just chilled out, whatever, let's just talk about it kind of format, I guess. I mean, it's not the most flashy video in the world, it's just, yeah. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and peace out of here, maybe try to sleep. So I'll see y'all around. Peace.